Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode is another one of these exciting episodes where I get to go through my anime list, and the year is going to be 1987. Now, 1987 is really kind of a very significant year because it's sort of basically when I've now arrived in Vancouver back in 1986, and now 1987 flipped over, so now this is my second sort of semester. First year at university, met a lot of new people, and I'm learning and finding all these different places in Vancouver that does Japanese and Japanese stuff, right? So now I'm getting more and more immersed in Japanese animation, and learning about what new titles and that kind of stuff are coming out, and so all this sort of information is now coming up, and basically I'm bridging the gap between what I knew was coming out. Okay, so a lot of the older animes that have been featured several years ago, so for example, like Macross and that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden I'm now bridging that gap and reducing that time lag to like almost current, right? Just a few months delay, and finding out that wow, there's all this new stuff that's coming out, and I have access to it, right? Like I'm getting my hands on it relatively very quickly. As compared to what it was, what we would previously done, right? So, the focus has changed, and the immersion is so much more. Okay, so this is really, really long and really big. So basically, what I actually have to do is I'm gonna have to cut the episode into half because it's just so much content, right? So this is the first section of 1987, all right, and then I'm gonna have to make the second, half in the next episode. Okay, so again, I will give you my best selections for this part of the year. So again, if you only have a little bit of time to watch maybe one or two things, I will give you those selections at the end of the video. Okay, so be tuned for that. So when I get down to the selection process, right? So before I begin, don't forget to go down below, click like, and click subscribe. And then you'll get more videos, and of course, when the conclusion for this episode, you would also want to get notified for that. So don't forget to click the notification bell, so that when that new episode comes out, then you'll be able to look at that. Also, don't forget to go check out my database of previous episodes, because obviously, if you like watching these type of episodes and seeing what kind of suggestions I have, don't forget to check out 1986, 85, 84, 83, and see what the suggestions that you should watch from those years as well. Okay, so without any further delay, let's begin. 1987. All right, so we start off with the beginning of 1987 here, and it's not really that too different from most years. But there's not too many in the way of new TV series. But the one very important one right off the very bat is Metal Armor Dragonar. Okay, so again, this is one of those series where a lot of people kind of thought that it was trying to get as a fill-in episode between all the Gundams, right? Of course, the end production wasn't quite ready and wasn't done, so they ended up having to put this on after Double Zeta Gundams instead of being sort of in the filler between Zeta and Double Zeta. You won't get any more Gundams along this timeline until basically much later, until you get into Hathaway's story, because they never end up actually going ahead with Geiger Gear. Anyway, so basically here we have this basically something that basically comes out by sunrise. It looks like a Gundam. It even has a storyline kind of like a Gundam. The colony, like the Earth, and then the colonies that live on the moon and in space, and then there's a big conflict, happens because of the colonization and that kind of stuff. And these kids steal these machines that look like Gundams, and they got an enemy that kind of looks like Char. So it really is like looks like a Gundam, has the story of a Gundam. But it was really actually a really good series. I really liked how the series panned out. I really got again, when you gotta be careful when you're watching Tomino type of shows. Don't get attached to any of the characters too much, even if they are the main characters, because stuff will happen. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story. I liked how the relationships and stuff sort of formed and kind of happened in the series. and so that was really kind of really good. Like later on in the series when they got they built the all female team, the Dragoon team. That was really cool. And the artwork changed a little bit when they got to the second half, when the Guinyu team, which is like, it looks like Fist of the North Star kind of like guys things, and so that was bizarre. But I mean, other than that, I thought it was a really good series. Just don't think of it as a Gundam. Think of it as as a separate series that kind of looks like a Gundam, has like literally the same story as a Gundam. And and I get it, because it's just another one of these shows that Sunrise decides to make for selling toys. The other thing that I really like about Dragon Art is the theme song for it. And again, as I said in another episode, it has a lot of English taglines in it. I love you and just catch me. And so again, those are really great songs for this time of this era. Okay, and again, we'll skip over the TV shows that are continuing. Again, if you want to look at those ones, just go back to my previous episode for 1986. Okay, so the major advances of this one is there's lots of new OVAs. Okay, and let's go through them here. So right off the bat, we have the Bubblegum Crisis. Well, again, one of the new OVAs that really sparked up getting anime, especially over North America. Now you gotta realize that, hey, we're in 1987. We still haven't, we're like 1991, 92 before even like this stuff is getting released by Anime Eigo and that kind of stuff. So we're still a long ways away from this stuff getting to North America. But if you were at this time, you knew about this show called Bubblegum Crisis, which is about girls in hard suits and cyberpunk and all sorts of stuff. This is like awesome stuff, right? We also have next one is Digital Devil Story here, which is Megami Taisen. Hell, even nowadays, I just looked at the list for PlayStation games, and like they've cut the PlayStation game off of this thing on the PlayStation 4. And it's like, wow, it took them that kind of long. So, but again, really popular series. The demons and that kind of stuff was a really big popular theme at this time, so that was really nice. And the next one also on this list here is Twilight Q. Now I find that Twilight is sort of a personal favorite of mine, just because of the fact that the artwork is done by Kimi Takada. Now she's been doing lots of stuff and getting lots of stuff made now, like Urban Square and that comes up the other day, and of course she's got Orange Road coming up, right? But again, this is sort of one of the OVAs that kind of gets tucked in and hidden underneath everything, so a lot of people just kind of forget about it and don't remember what this is. Okay, and the next line here we have the Dirty Pair OVAs, and now these not really truly OVAs. They're basically the series ended at 24, so these are actually the last two episodes, 25 and 26 for the TV series. So they just put it into an OVA form. So these are really actually TV episodes for the Dirty Pair. So got that. This next one is, I guess the third part for the Rumik World series, which is, translated the Laughing Target. So this is more Rumiko Takahashi stuff. So if you've been following her series, with Mermaid's Forest and Chojin, Mars the Chojin, then this is your third part for that short story thing. Okay, and the last one here is what they refer to as Evil, like Dragon War Chronicles, or I think a lot of people just call it Dragon War Chronicles. Even at that time, I think the Japanese was so hard to translate, they just referred it to by its OVA name, which is it's part of the Pink Noise series. So Call Me Tonight was Pink Noise #1, which I think it was earlier on last year that came out. This is like Pink Noise number 4, I think. Next one coming up, I think, is Body Jack, which I think is Pink Noise 2, and Hikaru On, I think, is Pink Noise 3, something like that. So they're coming up, but so I think a lot of people just listed it as one of the Pink Noise episodes. Anyway, but I liked it because it, again, nice, good artwork on it. Especially if you look at how masculine the male body and that kind of stuff is drawn. Like all the rest of the Pink Noise series, they add a little touch of spice on it, because at this time, it's not gratuitous fan service. It's how much can we get away with before the censors or the board or the whatever regulations and that kind of stuff kind of get to it and say, hey, we gotta change the marking of this or whatever, because they know that the more spice they put on it, the more it's gonna sell, right? So that was the big selling point at this particular point. Okay, so in the big page along here, we got the next ones. We got 2 more of those parts of the Pink Noise OVA set. So we have Body Jack and Hikaru On. Okay, so again, these are 2 parts of this Pink Noise series, which are various different topics. I mean, Body Jack is one of these sort of fantasy stories where this guy tries to gets into a girl's body, and then he tries to see what what's like to be in a woman's body type of thing, and chaos ensues there. The second one, of course, is Hikaru On, which is you gotta remember, like, Borgman just got released a couple years ago. So the old concept of the the guy in the Sentai suit type of thing, that's the release of that one. And while I'm at it, I'll just sort of mention the next one that's coming up here, which is I'll Give You Everything, another Aigiru. And that's another one of these, the guy dreams of someone, a girl, lonely guy, gets this, dream of getting this dream girlfriend, who will give him everything. And so you can tell there's a whole new line of all this kind of stuff, animes, where they're really going to push that border of being basically a regular anime and being, let's say PG 16, 18, R kind of ranking there, and as I said, they're really trying to see how much they can get away with before they really actually have to change their classification. So this is one of the styles of that. And again, I made an episode about this, how anime got its bad name. It's because of titles like this is where things are like, I mean, they're not like Overfiend or La Blue Girl or anything like that yet, but it's getting there, right? They're having these kind of scenes put into their movies, and then they're gonna see, well, okay, if they don't notice this, or they don't see this, that's okay. We're gonna sell a whole bunch of copies of it anyway, and then by the time they figure it out, it might be too late, right? So that's sort of what's sort of going on right here. Okay, continuing along with the list here, we have Hell Target. Okay, that's a kind of an anime that came out of nowhere. Kind of interesting. It basically has the same plot as Aliens, but it was one that a lot of people traded around and got up because, again, the title was really good too. Just sort of anything with the word hell in it really sparked something. See, the next one is Elf 17. Here's basically a pretty forgettable anime. A lot of people did also trade this one. It really has the storyline or plot very similar to Cosmos the Pink Shock. It doesn't have really much going for it other than the fact that it has an elf character in it. And again, at this time, we are before Record of Lotus War, so not a lot of animes have elf characters in them. But other than that, Cosmos the Pink Shock is drawn better. It's drawn by Hirano, so that's the guy who's going to give you Dangai-O and Ixtra 1. And and the only really big take I'd take away from L17 is it is the song sung by Hiroko Kasahara, which she'll really be making her big splash when Patlabor comes out again, and Assemble Insert. So that entire stuff will really launch her career. And the last title on this list on here is Salamander. Now this one was really good because I remember getting the rental tape for this one because the cover was so captivating, and then I found out, that translates to Salamander, and this is based off of the Konami shooting game. Okay, so it's for once an anime is based off of a video game. Okay. And so that was kind of cool. Like, so how do you make an anime out of a shooting game? But that's this one's one definitely to check out. The other thing that's really significant about this is that the character design for this one is Mikimoto. So the people who are obviously interested in things like Macross and Orgus and that kind of stuff, this is his his handiwork in making this particular OVA. So something definitely worth to check out. I always had this on the back burner to thinking of doing a fan sub for this one, but we never ever did work on this one. But definitely, it's, if you like his artwork, it's definitely one to check out. Okay, and just to round off and finish off the rest of the OVAs for this quarter, we have two of the Heavy Metal Elgaim, third OVA for the summaries of Heavy Metal Elgaim, and then we got the second sort of special OVA for Elgaim called the Farewell, My Lovely, and Pentagoma Dolls. Okay, so basically more supplemental episodes for Elgaim there. And last one here is the Creamy Mommy Perfect Memory. So more sort of some episode summaries for the Creamy Mommy TV series there. So just more short summary recaps kind of stuff. All right, so we go into movies now, and can't complain about any big blockbuster movies here right away. The Royal Space Force anime. So this, when we're talking about big blockbusters movies, especially around this time, here's another really well done anime. Great story. The animation works on it is just spectacular on this one. So definitely, Wings of Anime is definitely one of the ones that came out this year. Really good. Right beside it, Dirty Pair, Project Eden. Again, another long-awaited movie for the Dirty Pair. Nice, high-quality stuff. This is the type of Dirty Pair that everyone wants. It's the girls go in there with weapons and just start blasting stuff, and so great scene for that. So it's another good what you expect from the Dirty Pair, right? Other than that, let's see. The rest of the movies here are not that significant. The only other one that we have on the list here is the Batsu and Terry, which is I remember again renting this one off of from a Japanese video store, and basically another variation of the baseball love story, but it's a triangle. Okay, so not too much of that, and again, pretty forgettable. But at least it's not done by the same guy who does all the usual baseball love stories like Touch and Nine and Miyuki and that kind of stuff. Okay, so the next season comes up now. There's a whole new slate of TV shows coming up, and very significant ones now. We have right away City Hunter. The first series of City Hunter comes out, and this is really significant because, this is 1987, so this is like my second semester at UBC. So this is still my first year, but second semester, second half, right? And so I'm meeting all these different people and everything like that. And one of the people I ended up running across, friend through friend of a friend type of thing, was Aesop. And he has a friend called Yoshi in Japan, and they traded a lot of tapes of video content, right? So the stuff that Yoshi was recording was exactly this stuff, okay, that we see on TV. It was episodes of City Hunter, it was episodes of Orange Road, it was Dragon Ball, and Fist of North Star, and all this other stuff. It was being recorded basically as if they were being aired on TV, and then just basically just a month or so just to ship them over, but in a box, so they arrive over here, right? So we're really getting like really really new stuff that it was going to be years upon years in advance before even the guys like AD Vision and stuff get City Hunter out, because they wasn't until like 95, 96 or so by the time they got that. So I mean, we're almost talking 8-9 years before they get this on tape, and Orange Road, even Animiego too, didn't get it until like 95, until this stuff came out, right? So we're I'm watching stuff that is just sort of really untouched and unknown by the people, by the general public over here. Okay, so we're talking about titles again. Orange Road comes out this year as well. And so that's the very favorite series. That's one of the pivotal series that really got me interested in anime. And of course, the second series of Fist of the North Star also begins on this one here. And so this, you can say, there's lots of really cool animes that came out in this year. And again, this is sort of the year where we sort of know about it now. Like we know this thing called anime. So now we've got eyes turned towards Japan. Now we're paying attention to what we see in the magazines, and we're actually looking and waiting for these releases to come out. So we're kind of feeding that kind of market in that respect, okay, and we're kind of looking at these things. So that's why I've noticed that the OVA titles are now increasing. We now know more about each of the OVAs at this time, and there's less of these animes that sort of fall away the wayside because we are actually sort of paying attention to what comes out. Okay, and the last sort of TV series that of any significance here, because other than the Fotogi Raikkonen, which is another one of these, done by the same guy does the touch and that kind of stuff, and Miyuki and that stuff, and Esper Mami, no one really knows about. And is the most important one here is Zillion. Okay, now Zillion, of course, is made by with the help of Sega. Okay, and one of the video games that they made for the thing is the for the Sega Master System, so the one that came out before the Sega Genesis. They made a light gun shooting game, which is basically sort of what Zillion is. It's a kind of a real life version of laser tag, essentially, except with the aliens and that kind of stuff. But anyway, so there's another one of these animes that sort of made a game that sort of went with it to basically market itself. And this is sort of really one of these new things that sort of happens, is that now video games are now being used as a marketing tool for animes. Okay, and that sort of does it for this season of TV shows. So that's what I put it. So now the only thing I would like to make a comment on is that if we scroll ahead a little bit here, we'll run across and notice that Maison Ikkoku is listed as one of the continuing shows. So if you remember from my episode in 1986, Maison Ikkoku started in 86, the year before. Okay, so it's already got a head start on Orange Road, of course. And so this is what's going to happen, is that Orange Road is now kind of buried behind all the other things that are kind of going on, right? And of course, Maison Ikkoku has bigger pull, and so therefore, it's even in the magazines, Orange Road is always featured behind Maison Ikkoku. So it's one of those, shall we say, lost animes. It would have been a lost anime if I hadn't basically took the initiative to actually bring it to the forefront and fan sub it and make it known what this story was about. Alright, so now to the OAVA section here. Now this is really good because there's a lot of new OAVAs, and the difference is now I virtually know what all of them are, right? So like unlike before, every single one of these titles are significant, right? So right away, Black Magic M66. Okay, so another good, solid, cyberpunkish type of a themed type of a show. Very early Master Shiro, like very kind of stuff, right? Macross Flashback 2012. So some of the more newer version of Macross, a little flash of a new version of Macross there, with music all tied in. The long-awaited second, part. Okay, so the first Project A-ko 1 was a movie. Now they've made the Project A-ko 2 a little bit shorter, and they made an OAVA. So here's Project A-ko, the second episode. More of the Madison series, of course. That's so very, very popular. They also made one called the Space Fantasy 2001 Nights. So kind of their version of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Okay, that movie. So kind of a neat sort of sci-fi type of thing. Sort of real, more real looking like people than anime type characters on that one. So that one was really good. Again, that's another one of those movies I got from the videotape rental store, and was rather very, very interesting. This one was a surprise one. Yotoden. Okay, again. We had a lot of problems, trying to translate that thing to like sword something or whatever, and whatever. But I think what everyone stuck to is just the name Yotoden, okay? And so it's kind of a nice mix because again, other than maybe say something like Dagger Kamuli that we had a couple years ago, we've always been missing good, ninja samurai action type of stuff that we always like, and nice, blood and guts and that kind of stuff. So again, that was really, really good. Uh, God bless Dan Cougar. So another OAVA that was long waited for the Dan Cougar series. So again, I was really appreciative of getting this one. So more conclusion to the Dan Cougar series. All right, and to finish up the rest of the OAVAs here, we have one called Pants No Anna. Okay, this is one of these really weird animes that just had no plot, just random jokes and crap just sort of thrown together, but with a lot of fan service and that kind of stuff. But the problem with this one is that it was really, questionable type material. So it was really hard to distribute this one because it's bordering on just totally wrong. So I know a lot of people sort of was looking for it. Even I was sort of know that this title exists, but it was really hard to get a copy of it back then. Also, it wasn't really drawn very well either, so that didn't help it. The next one was Circuit Angel. There's another one of these, bike racing type of stuff, which is really, really popular because I wasn't really into bikes, but one of my roommates, David Urquhart, was really into bikes, and so that was really cool. And also the one of the songs for this one is done by Hiroko Moriguchi, and so that was really popular with that. And the last one here is the Shinakazu. So this is another one of these sort of now. The art style for like a lot of the yaoi stuff and that kind of stuff kind of shows up in this one, and it's the same kind of thing that I really didn't really like at this particular time, so I kind of did avoid all these kind of those types of shows, bronze and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of no one really paid attention to that kind of stuff, and so that also fell down the wayside too. But again, these are sort of thing like Pants and this this type of show, it also just branches into the two different sort of sectors of anime and that kind of stuff, where again, part of the bad name sort of comes from because now we're getting into stories about basically questionable areas towards towards orientation and stuff like that, which again at this time wasn't as deemed as acceptable as they are now. Okay, so then now we go into the movies. There's only a couple of them here. So let's see, right off the bat here we have Yoju Tiansen. Okay, so this is again the start of all the Yo and Inju and that kind of stuff. So basically, if you look at all the next few years worth of animes that come out, and you notice that either has the word Yoju, Inju, those type of words, they all refer to like monsters and tentacles and all that kind of stuff. And that's things like Angel of Darkness, that's Inju Gakuen. Little Blue Girl, which is Inju Kyotsu, and things like that all kind of come out. So so that's then became the main thing, right? So if you read anime, then that's your keyword that you look for. You look for like Inju, Yoju, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, you got a pretty good chance that that's what that anime is probably about. Anyway, so that is your Wicked City. And so that was a pretty, pretty edgy anime for that at that time as well. And to finish things off here, we got Touch, the third movie. So again, more of that baseball love story stuff that no one really cares about this time. And Takajima Jima, which is like a really ancient TV series. Again, even I think it was in the 70s when that sort of thing happened. So I guess there's no way to made a movie for that. So okay, well that's pretty well. No one knew about that one either. Okay, now let's just finish up the anime TV specials, and right on the front there is Sangoshi, which is Dia Darten. This is basically basically an animated version of the classic story of the Three Musketeers. Now I remember watching this on the French CBC channel. It was actually being released in French under the name Sous Descend des Mousquetaires, which is the sign of the Musketeers, right? And then again, I didn't know it was an anime at that time, but I remember watching some of this when I was just browsing on the French channel. Anyway, so again, not a lot of interest in this because even a lot of the animes that sort of came out, which were based off of English shows, the Sherlock Hound, Anna Green Gables, which is really popular in Canada, an anime, and Little Women and things like that, all weren't really well received. So a lot of people didn't really pay attention to those type of shows. That's not saying that there weren't any, but like I said, a lot of people didn't really pay attention to this one. At least here in this sort of market, again, in French and that kind of stuff, where they had translations for Mousquetaire, that was pretty popular there. And yeah, again, I had a couple episodes which some people did ask me for. Okay, so I'm already quickly approaching the half-hour mark already, and I'm not even done half the year, right? Because I've only done just the winter and spring season. I haven't done summer and fall yet, so I'm already at half one. So you can just tell how much new anime is coming out. And again, I guess when I get into the more future episodes, I guess I'm gonna have to start breaking up the episodes even further and further. But anyway, so at this point, I'm just gonna you're asking for my suggestions, and basically I'll go through them very quickly and basically go through the process of what I would recommend and what based on what we got, right? Because we actually got quite a lot right now. So let's start with the TV series. So the list is not very long because there wasn't a lot of new TV series that came out. A lot more OVAs and that kind of stuff came out this year, or this segment of the year, right? So right now, when we just looking at the list, I see City Hunter, we see Orange Road, Fist of the North Star, the second TV series, Zillion, and Metal Armor Dragonar. Okay, and of them, I guess if I had the list of in order, you definitely want to get City Hunter and Orange Road in there. Those are basically very key animes for this time period. A lot of things were based off of these shows. The predecessor for City Hunter was Cat's Eye, and of course Orange Road was with the whole thing that basically kicked off everything that Akemi Takada had worked on up to this point. Very, very significant. Fist of North Star, of course, was just a continuation of the first Fist of North Star series. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but that's all right. Some people like that kind of thing. And of course, Zillion was purely a marketing tool for selling games and that kind of stuff. But that's all right. But more significantly, I'd say if you had a third choice of something you wanted to have a look at, I'd definitely take a look at Metal Armor Dragonar. As I said, the music really was good to me. I like the plot and how it seems. Again, a lot of people say the plot was very, very similar to a Gundam, and the mechs even look like and basically play out like a Gundam series. So it was a nice, good series, nice ending. It was sort of a nice, complete sort of thing by itself, unlike a lot of the like all the other Gundams, which have hanging endings and that kind of stuff. And the other thing that's really kind of convenient is the fact that Dragonar is another those type of series that you could actually find online really easily for free, and you can just watch it and whatnot. So it's really good to get into and be able to watch it without really any cost to yourself. City Hunter, Orange Road, and Dragonar. Okay, so let's go for the movies now. Now, movies again, and also a very, very short list. Or we're only looking at Yojo Tensen, which is Wicked City, Wings of Animeas, the Dirty Pair movie, Project Eden, and the other one, less than get, which is Terry and Batsu. Okay, definitely, if you come across an anime list that does not list Wings of Animeas for 1987, then this list is not worth listening to. Okay, definitely. Wings of Animeas and Dirty Pair, Project Eden are probably your top movies for this time period. Those are you gotta look at those. Those are just, you can't miss those ones. Wicked City, again, more special interest, but I guess that's more that really cutting edge kind of stuff that you want to get into. Production quality is very nice on it, and if you want to overlook the spiciness that's in it, definitely that's one to check out. So basically, I'd go Wings of Animeas, Dirty Pair the movie, and if you got time, check out Wicked City. Okay, so for the OVAs,
We got a lot to pick from, right? Bubblegum Crisis came out, Digital Devil Story, Shinshin Mega Tensen, Twilight Q, and Kimi Takada work, more of Rumiko Takahashi's Rumiko World 3, Laughing Target came out. We got a series of Pink Noise OVAs 1, 2, 3. Some more smuttier titles like Mina, I'll Give You Everything, Hell Target, Elf 17, Salamander, some Elgaimo OVAs, some Korean Mami OVAs. Black Magic M66, another big star one there. Macross, so again, really nice animation of that stuff, even though it's pretty much a music video. Project Echo, of course, well awaited. Yotoden, very good. I was always waiting for the Dan Cougar special. Okay, but if I had to knock it down to a simple 5, okay, let's just mark the list down to 5 right now of ones you have to check out. Obviously, Bubblegum Crisis, right on the list. Can't miss that one. Black Magic M66. Can't miss that one. Project Echo, the second movie. Can't miss that one. Okay. Next two. Again, if you don't have time to just stick with the top 3. But if you got a little bit of time and you can check out 2 more, I would go Yotoden, and I'd check out Salamander. Okay. And again, of course, all you people who are Macross fans obviously will check out Macross Flashback 2012. Even though primarily it's music video, but you want to see that extra little bit of what happens at the end. Definitely, you'll see that extra little bit. Okay, and so those would be my suggestions for the halfway point through 1987. And again, I will have to make a separate episode to cover the second half, and then basically I'll combine the results for the two together and come up with something that's more comprehensive for the year 1987. Okay, so stay tuned for that one.
Okay, so that was a lot to go through, and we're only finished like half of the year, right? This is only the winter and spring season. We still got the summer and the fall season left to go. I'll have to put that into the next episode. So stay tuned for that one, all right? So until next time, see you again.